What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. We are here tonight officially reviewing Mufasa the Lion King, which opened up tonight for early preview and officially opens tomorrow night in the United States. But before we get into the video, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Make sure to go check out the other reviews that I have posted. And without further ado, let's get right into it. Nostalgic, a good family movie, yes. But ultimately, as an origin story for Mufasa, I felt that this movie fell very flat. Now, in this movie, we are getting an opportunity to see a live action version of the rise of Mufasa to the king and all of the journeys that he went on as a young cub with Taka, aka Scar, to achieve this goal of becoming king. Now, in this film, the first thing that really stood out right away was the graphics and the imaging. I thought the colors, the scenery, all of that was very vibrant and was great. But then we get to the meat of the storyline, which is Mufasa on this journey through life, in a sense, to become king, where he is lost, he is trying to figure out who he is, and he ultimately realizes that he has powers that Scar does not have. And in many ways, this brings on the jealousy of Scar, which we saw in the original Lion King. Now, the beginning of this movie is hilarious. So you are getting a narration from some characters that we have seen before. You have Simba, you have Nala, you have Rafiki, you have Pumbaa, Timon, you have Zazu. You have all of the characters that you have seen before, really telling the story of Mufasa and how he is able to reach the kingdom status. Now let's get into another issue, the first issue that really stands out. In this movie, I felt like they portrayed Taka or Scar to be very weak. Now, when you're looking at this and you see the original Lion King and the power and how Scar put kind of the fear in people, in many ways, this film made him look very weak. It made him weak in the fight scenes. It made him weak in the kind of escape scenes. And so, in a sense, you really are looking back from the original, which I enjoyed, and are looking at it from the perspective of, is Scar just a weak person? Is he a weak lion? And Mufasa kind of takes advantage of that, in a sense. Not take advantage of him, but takes advantage of situations that are provided. Now, as the movie went on, you really got more of the storytelling where you saw the characters enter the picture. So like the Pumbaa, the Rafikis, you got to see how they came about to be a part of Mufasa and ultimately Simba's life. And I think that was done very well. I think by having that storyline there, it allows you to kind of have a little bit more of a backstory of why they have not been eaten or why they have survived as long as they have. But like I said, the big flop of this movie, in my opinion, is just the relationship between Scar and Mufasa. I felt that in a sense, very early on, you knew that Mufasa was going to be the one that prevails between the two. And I get it, that's what they may have been trying to go for because that's ultimately what happens. But I felt like it was just too obvious. I felt that in a sense, you didn't really have them connecting on a full survival mode basis where you see Scar in a powerful role. And so with that, there's one specific scene where you do have that instance, but it's still very flat. The imaging, the views, the story, it all felt kind of just thrown together. Now, I really do, like I said, enjoy the perspective of the storytelling, where you have Rafiki telling the story to Simba's child, and you're really having the build-up of who her grandfather was. And so I think that's good. But I just don't know if this movie is what should have been done. Now, I am not a big fan of live actions. I was not a big fan of the live action Lion King. But I feel like if you go watch this movie, you're going for a family aspect. You're going for the nostalgic aspect. And if that is what you are seeking, you are going to find it in this film. I felt that in many ways there were some nostalgic feels to it with the characters and kind of seeing the build up to what we know as the Lion King. But I just don't see why this had to be told the way it was. Now, there's going to be people that go out and say that this movie is excellent. They love it. It's great. And that is perfectly understandable. But I think another drawback that really hit me and made me question why I was here tonight was some of the musical scenes. There's one specific musical scene where you kind of see the real tension between Scar and Taka and Mufasa that really was just weird. And with that, I really kind of looked around, and then I really noticed that I was the only one in the theater. Yes, this was a 5 o'clock showing, so it was early and it is opening night, but it was empty. The people that I am seeing here tonight are going to see Sonic and going to see Homestead. And so those are movies I feel like are going to outperform this film. Now, I may be wrong, but that's just the feeling I get from it. But if I had to actually give this a rating, for me, Mufasa, the Lion King, is a 2.8. I just feel that the storyline, the specific relationship and dynamic between Scar, Taka, and Mufasa were just kind of weird. And in a sense, I don't feel like this movie necessarily needed to be put out. I felt like we should have been done with the Lion King movies. But it also makes you wonder whether or not there may be another film that comes out. But if you are looking to go for a family movie night and you want to go take your kids, this is a movie that you should probably go see. It fits that family movie category. Now, the one thing I will say and admit is I probably should have seen this in 3D. I feel like there are a lot of scenes in this movie with the imagery and the colors and how vibrant everything was that would make this movie very intriguing in 3D. But Mufasa the Lion King is out now. We are officially on winter break, so I will have more reviews this weekend. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you all for the continued support. We are 5 subscribers away from 300. Make sure to go check out the other videos I have posted, and I will talk to you all later.